Did you know the best performing brands get over 60% open rates? Not by luck, but by testing. In this video, we're going to break down real A/B tests from real e-commerce brands to show you how small changes can take you from average to top performer. You'll see how we use a top-down testing approach to boost opens, clicks, and conversions, and share A/B testing ideas that you can try it yourself. A/B testing in email marketing is about identifying where performance is weak and testing changes that can improve your KPIs, so your open rates, your click rates, and your conversions. Before you even get started, you want to form a clear hypothesis, so what you're changing, why, and what you expect to happen. And you want to focus on areas like subject lines, send times, content, segmentation, and offers. For open rates, for example, you want to test engaged segments, subject and preview text variations, list cleaning and timing. For click rates, you'll want to refine things like CTAs, links, and segmentation, and make sure that content matches subject lines, so no clickbaiting. And we want to include incentives and ensure proper rendering across devices and email providers. And for conversions, we want to optimize segmentation by customer type. We want to test links and CTAs carefully and experiment with different copy and creative to improve our flows and campaigns. With all of that said, with optimization, you really want to take a top-down approach. It's a numbers game. In e-commerce, it's a numbers game. The higher the traffic, the higher the chances of a conversion. So you don't want to start your testing at the bottom of the pyramid. You really want to go at the top. If you're only getting 5 people clicking an email and seeing an email versus the 1,000 people you have on your list, there isn't much of a point in optimizing for clicks and conversions, because you want the most people looking at your email as possible. So let's start with some rule of thumb benchmarks here. So for campaigns, we want to see 40% plus open rates. For flows, 50% plus. And then we want to pay attention to our list health KPIs in terms of bounce rate, unsub rate, and spam rate. If we're casting a wide net, these KPIs will definitely be impacted. So in terms of wide net, we're casting a wide net in terms of our segmentation. We're not using granular segmentation. So we may see drops in open rates. And then this needs to be a factor when we contextualize our numbers, basically. So if we're sending to the master list, for example, we may see a 35% open rate. We need to put that into perspective when we're looking at what numbers. So sticking with contextualizing our numbers and why they may be behaving the way they are before we decide a path forward. But always good to take that top-down approach and keep in mind our goals. So for example, if our clients' goals and our goals are to generate revenue, and we're not so much worried about our KPIs, we just want the most amount of traffic as possible, we're going to cast a wide net. And potentially we may see open rates drop. If we're going to stick with that methodology, we need to be disciplined to stick with that system, basically. So let's say on campaigns where the main goal is revenue at all costs, and we stick with that system going forward for, let's say, that campaign series, then we'll apply our testing logic when we're contextualizing the numbers. These are our rule of thumb KPIs. So off the top of our head, if we're seeing KPIs that are dropping, then we know where we're at. To put it into further perspective, we could look at our benchmarks. So each company that is operating Klaviyo within their specific industry vertical, these KPIs are reflective of what those companies are doing and where you stand in relation to them. So for example, my client here has a 66.9% open rate. And if we look at the rule of thumb benchmarks, we're exceeding that 40% by quite a large margin. And when we put that number into perspective, against our benchmarks, we are doing pretty good. We're in the 89th percentile. We are the top of the game. We are winning. And we look at our conversion rate, our click rates. We're at 2.27%. We're in the 72nd percentile. So we're falling around here somewhere. So that could be a good optimization point to start, since open rate is straight out the gate the clear winner. And then if we move further down, our conversion rate, we're in the 91st percentile. So we're doing pretty good. All our numbers stack up very nicely compared to our KPI table. Let me find another example of KPIs that will fit into a top-down approach. All right, so this is my other client. They're still doing really well in terms of open rate. We're still going to dive into open rate in terms of our top-down approach, but we can see here that their click rate definitely needs some work, being in the 9th percentile. Let's just go through our top-down approach and how we assess our path forward. So, for example, if our open rate is 19%, we want to optimize for our open rate. And even here, open rate being in the 81st percentile, we could definitely push that up further. Because like I said at the beginning of this video, traffic is the name of the game. Where people who have eyes on the email, the higher the likelihood of a click. The more clicks, the more traffic on the website. The more traffic on the website, the higher the likelihood of a conversion. So, more opens equals more clicks equals more traffic equals highest likelihood of a conversion. So if we're taking that top-down approach, we're going to look at our open rates and we're going to be testing for either subject line or timing. And then what I mentioned at the beginning of the video, so contextualizing our numbers as well. If we're casting a wide net, we're seeing super low open rates and low revenue, then this is where we're going to start. If we're highly segmented, for example, and we're seeing beautiful vanity metrics across the board, and we're also seeing high revenue, that is the goal. So open rates, we're testing subject line. So some examples of tests we can do: question versus statement, short versus long, emoji versus no emoji, smart send versus manual choice. And these are the tests I will break down. In terms of our click rate, so moving to our next branch here, we have design and layout, copy, and offer. What can we do to push that click rate? What can we do to inspire action to click through on that email so we can get more clicks, more traffic, more conversions? So click rate and place order rate, I do tend to put them into the same bucket, but it does narrow down, because conversion rate, you're really prompting that action right away. So quite a few tests we can run to optimize for that. So breaking it down into our main categories here. So hero image, what's above the fold, our CTA, how are we presenting that call to action to click on through, our pricing and discounts, our offer, our product blocks, so showing enticing images. If you're hungry and you're seeing an image of a hamburger patty that's sweating, you're going to want to click through and buy that burger, essentially. Copy, design, content, and also timing. So breaking that down here, click rate, let's just take a look here. We're at 0.49%, 9th percentile. Where would be our next step up from here? Would be our 25th percentile. So our goal here would be to move from 0.49% to 0.07%. That would be what we want to happen. How are we going to make that happen? We take a look at what we're currently doing and how we can change it. So let's say the past 20 emails haven't had an offer. Let's throw an offer in there and see if that entices the click. design and layout. Potentially we do a shorter layout versus a longer layout. Let me see if that's on this list. We can do lifestyle versus product images, concise versus longer copy. It all depends on how you can put your testing into context with the industry vertical that you're operating in, the life cycle of a product. And then in terms of conversion rate, we really offer is the one thing that we're going to do to entice that action. Or actually one wild card here that's not mentioned. Here, I'll just put this here. Scarcity, even if it's false. So taking advantage of some psychological principles, get it before it's gone, we're selling out, and then, or value stacking. So buy more, save more, essentially. So all of these things can prompt the action without necessarily requiring an offer.
Turn your emails into a revenue machine. Our email marketing audit gives you full clarity on what's working, what's not, and exactly what to fix first. Here's how it's done. We start with your list growth, reviewing your opt-ins and SMS collection for quick wins. Then, we audit your email flows using our traffic light system. Green for what's great, yellow for what needs work, and red for what's missing. Next, we check your campaigns and segmentation, benchmark your performance, and give tips to boost clicks and conversions. We even analyze your deliverability and design so your emails look great and actually land in inboxes. But the best part? You get a live walkthrough with one of our specialists, plus an actionable plan you can implement right away. Get your audit in just 3 business days.
Hey, if you're watching this and you like what you see, please hit subscribe and hit the bell because it helps us grow our channel.